Hello, ladies, and welcome to the Beauty Shaman. And this is part 4 in my 4-part series that I'm releasing on the Beauty Shaman, featuring the amazing Deborah Atkinson, who is a fitness trainer and the author of You Still Got It, Girl, the After 50 Fitness Formula book, and curator of the go-to website for all things health and fitness, flipping50.com. Thanks for joining me again, Deborah.
Thanks for having me. Got a juicy topic today.
We have a very juicy topic. We were laughing about it before I hit record. So the juicy topic is bra fat. Oh my God. I have always been super thin on top. And then when I hit menopause, my boobs I went from like a little bit over an A to a C cup, and my whole section around my bra suddenly went like that. And I was so shocked because I've always been very thin on top and I never really did all that much fitness around there. And so it was just a shock and I didn't know what to do because I wanted to bring that back down. So let's talk about the spare tire in the back. Ooh.
Yes. So, there's two things really. It's like the bra bulge, right? And,
Right.
and even Spanx bras can't hide that completely, right? So if your bra hugs you at all, you can see just a little, okay, there's a little bubble there. What is that? Oh, that's me. Oh, you know,
It's my other half. It's in the back, right?
and you can get the same thing, right above your waistline in the back. There's just this little, even if you're very fit, you're toned and tight and you're athletic, there's just a little bit more there than there was before. Like, where they come from, I wasn't looking for that. I don't know why it found me, but there it is. So first of all, what is that all about? And mistakes we've talked about throughout in the last 3 weeks. We talked about trying to target that. It's like, how do I get rid of that? What exercise gets rid of that? And I'll tell you what, if you go to YouTube and you type that in, you'll find videos that suggest that you can do that. However, remember this, that we lose it all over. And so you're not going to target lose, or target reduce fat in that one spot. Why is it there? It's very related, ironically, to testosterone levels. So as we go through hormone changes, we're always talking about the sex hormones, progesterone and estrogen and testosterone, but we talk about testosterone less as women. And usually we talk about it as if you're lifting weights, but you're struggling to actually see tone, that often suggests to me that your testosterone levels are low. So we want to check in with where you're at. This kind of back fat can actually be testosterone levels being high or low. And they can be either for a woman. So it's all relative to balance. So that's one of the things you want to be aware of. So what helps you balance testosterone? Make sure you're getting plenty of rest. You need sleep. You've got to get the rest, and make sure that you're targeting overall weight training that's fairly heavy. And if you can't safely go heavy, go to fatigue with your lighter weight. But it's important that you really reach fatigue to overload the muscle. So we can help fat that we have on the top. We call it subcutaneous, right under the skin kind of fat. We can help that lay down and take shape of the muscle if we tone the muscles. But if you think about where these two things are, the biggest bulge in the back, we don't actually want to put muscle on there necessarily, right? We don't want, we'd love to have a little bicep bump, when we're in a sleeveless outfit, but we don't necessarily want muscle right in our waistband. We're not looking for that. So it's important that you get some tone in that area, but you're probably not looking to bulk up, and get that sinewy definition of a bodybuilder. Most of us, and if you are, good for you, but we're probably not talking to that group right here. So it's important that you look at your sleep, and the reason being, we want some muscle tone underneath, and it comes from having testosterone levels that are adequate, as well as growth hormone, and having cortisol that's lower. And that comes again from sleep. We need the sleep. Sleep is a big one here for getting rid of the bra bulge. And then doing exercises that are, you're doing lots of rowing exercises or pulling exercises. So if you can do a pull up or an assisted pull up, and you can do rowing exercises with dumbbells, even in a standing position. You can do them with a cable or a machine if you're sitting at it. Those kinds of exercises will help. I love to do a plank. So I'm on my toes and my forearms, and then lift a weight with one arm and I put it down and I pick it up with the other arm and go back and forth. So stabilizing all those muscles in the back are on and strong. And then while I'm lifting, I'm also lifting for some serratus anterior muscles through the back and the shoulder area that are right underneath that back fat. That will also help. But for a moving exercise for both of those spots, I love boxing.
Oh,
So
interesting.
for standing and you're boxing, you're doing a little rotation. You're also doing a little, as you do that punch, the serratus anterior muscle underneath the fat. It's not that you're going to punch away the fat necessarily, but you are doing a little interval training. If you do it properly and with enough intensity, that will help you burn fat overall, which means that's going to be less apparent there too. But with boxing, you've got that going on specifically here, and you're doing rotation or leverage, either one, with this lower body kind of around the core. So you've got muscles that wrap around you, the transversus abdominal wall, you've got your inner and outer obliques that cross on your sideways, and you're activating all of them at the same time. So those are great exercises, kind of a plank, multitasking with a lift, and then doing boxing, where you're doing a jab or a cross or a combination. So super fun, great for stress. Reducing your stress level won't hurt tone as well. But all of those things are great ways. And if you like to swim, that's another great way to get some elongation through the back, kind of streamline. If your shoulders get a little bit broader, and it's not going to go crazy on you, so don't worry about that, but your waistline becomes a little smaller and you're streamlining all of those muscles down and into a waistline. So you'll see some results there as well.
Wonderful. I love this. And the one thing that stuck out to me with all of that, all those were very practical. And I don't know why I think this resonates with me because it's really been a struggle for me lately and maybe for other viewers. You brought up sleep. And I think, as you go through menopause, like I'm waking up in the middle of the night. It becomes very hard to get a full night's sleep. It becomes very, very draining. And then I still have to get up and go Mach 1, right? Throughout the
Right.
whole day. So but you're right about the cortisol levels and your muscles needing to relax. I mean, everything that you brought up was so great. So I'm sort of diverging a tiny bit, but I think it's super relevant with the
Yeah.
sleep issue because every single video in the series that we've done for the last 3 weeks, you have brought it up. You've brought up sleep. So can you touch on this just very briefly?
Absolutely. It's all about the hormones that get balanced while you're sleeping are the crucial ones that are disturbing the fat and the belly fat, the arm, the wings, all of it. So it's very related. And I know, like you said, there are probably a lot of viewers who are saying, yeah, I'd love to sleep, but I just can't, but there are ways that you can choose the type and the timing of your exercise and the type and the timing of the food that you eat to help you get better sleep. So, it's doing your more intense exercise early in the day helps you work with cortisol so that you will be more tired and you'll actually be doing more winding down. You can do calming exercises late in the day, but you don't really want to get yourself up and revved up and going again. So that's important. And here's some irony. So we talked about the difference between extracurricular carbs and good carbohydrates that don't get stored as fat. Having more of those good kind of carbs later in the day helps us unwind. It helps promote serotonin. And as women, that's our feel good hormone. So the better we feel, the easier we will drift off into sleep. And so it can help with getting to sleep, staying asleep, and not waking too early. And those are kind of the trilogy of problems that women tend to have around sleep. And here's the other thing, that this is a tough one. This is like tough love. Get up at the same time every day, no matter what. So, unless this is an exclusion to you, if you have adrenal fatigue, if you're just tired all the time, get up in the morning, you feel hungover, I'm not talking to you. But if ordinarily you feel pretty good and you get up early when you have to get up early, but otherwise you will sleep in, and there's really no normal wake up time, start setting one. Because what you do in the morning with that wake up call makes you sleep better the following night. And you have to start a cycle at some point, but it's harder to make yourself go to bed. So you want to make yourself want to go to bed. And that starts by getting up at the same time every day.
That's great. That's great advice. And I personally find that very difficult because my schedule's so wonky, right? And I think
Right.
this is great. I think I've just recently decided I'm going to go to bed at like 9:45. I'm going to get up at 6, and that's what I'm going to do every day. And I've done it for the last 2 weeks, and it's amazing how like I've started to go, okay, and I'm starting to be able to sleep better through the night. So I definitely have seen that.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you, Deborah. This is super interesting. So, I think everything you shared about the bra fat, rowing, I love some of these actually, rowing, pulling, plank, and then lifting while you're doing plank, boxing. Who knew,
Yes.
right? I don't know. I could do some boxing. I could practice on pillow or go to the gym, right? Those are all great things.
You don't even need anything, really. I
Yeah,
mean, you don't have to have the gloves and the wraps. You don't have to have it. You're just doing air. So one of the most popular videos we've got is boxing. Women love it.
yeah.
It kind of gets out a little angst at the same time it's working your arms and your abs. What's not to love, right?
So that's great. You brought up your videos. So I think this is a great point for the audience is you have this amazing website called flipping50.com, and you have an incredible content on that website and also on your YouTube, but particularly the website I think is I really want people to visit that and see just how much is there and what they could access just by being a part of your club, I guess I should say. So and to be able to go in there and go, well, what is this kind of boxing? And just put it in and there it is. So that's wonderful.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Yes. So, any way you like to consume it, podcasts or blogs, there's lots of content. So, you can do a search for what most relevant right now you want to address.
That's great to know. Well, thank you, Deborah, so much for joining me on the Beauty Shaman.
Thanks so much for having me. It's been fun.
And thank you, ladies, for tuning in. Please go back and watch the other. There's 4 in the series. We've covered things like, the wobbly bit right here. We've covered tummy fat. We've covered thighs. We've covered back fat. I mean, some really awesome points that women over 50 that just hit us, right, when we turn 50 years old. And we've got some practical, really great tips for all of you. So thank you for tuning in. And thank you, Deborah Atkinson. And thanks for watching.